Hi, my name is Shiv Prasad Keti. I'm the founder CEO of a company called Ganit. We are an AI consulting company. We work with AWS on a strategic basis to solve really interesting problems for our clients. Today, we'll be talking about our demand forecasting solution using AWS Forecast. So the way we'll talk about this topic is, we'll first talk about the typical challenges that are faced by the enterprises of various scope and scale, and we'll think about how we can use demand forecasting and intelligent forecast as a business driver. And the main part of the presentation will be how we have collaborated with AWS Forecast in driving value using forecasting as a solution. And then we'll give a very quick way of actually starting this solution for you if you're interested. So I'll first start with talking about typically the challenges that are faced by various companies. I'll give a count of three different industries so that you can understand the various challenges. The first, in a retail industry, we worked with a large retailer in India that had consistent wastage of the category of food and fruits and vegetables, and they also had stockouts at the same time. So it's an interesting problem where you have both overstock and understock kind of a problem. And for a CPG company, they had regular stockouts because the forecasting solution, the demand planning solution was extremely people dependent, and it was not driven in a scientific manner. And the third example where we worked with a manufacturing industry, a medical devices manufacturer, where some of their cash was actually strapped in low moving inventory because of poor planning. I talked about all these challenges across various companies and of different scope and scale. These challenges arise primarily because of three reasons. And all these reasons are because of a very traditional way of looking at demand forecasting as a solution. The first reason is, in a very traditional way, all items, all SKUs are prioritized equally. That means that everybody is getting the same attention, means nobody gets any attention, right? The second reason is, the demand forecasting solutions typically are based off of only the historical sales and nothing else. And the third reason is, when there is a short-term fluctuation in demand, the signal of demand, the businesses are not equipped and configured to react to it, right? Let alone respond to those fluctuations. This is where scientific approach to demand forecasting comes into play, where you can actually prioritize cues in a very, very systematic and scientific way, and think about your high moving, high importance cues in a very strategic manner. And while you're doing it, the some of the low moving and volatile SKUs and items can also be, their demand forecasting can also be learned from the ones that are actually doing well. A little bit of both synergy in terms of halo effects can be generated across business portfolio, right? And while you're doing all this, a scientific approach will also enable for you to configure what we call as a no-touch demand planning system, where with no or minimal intervention of people, now you have a solution that can actually drive value for your business. Ganit's approach to drive intelligent demand forecasting consists of three parts. The first part is identifying demand drivers using hypothesis matrix. This is a very exhaustive process. I'll talk about that in the next slide. The second part is about fostering experimentation mindset, in our clients through Kaizen approach. Kaizen means small but incremental improvement to a system. The third is that now you have all these AI ML models, you have to make sure that these models are implemented and consumed by the businesses. That's where Ganit's change management principles come into effect. I did talk about how exhaustive our hypothesis-driven approach is in terms of understanding the drivers of demand. We start this, with an approach of being MECE, which is mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive list of hypotheses, and we source this hypothesis from the category heads of a business. If you're talking about fruits and vegetables, we go interview them, understand from them what the business nuances and challenges are. We also get inputs from store visits. Guide team visits the store, understands the day-to-day operations of the store, and then bubbles up some of the challenges, some of the problems that come in, and then frame those problems and challenges as hypothesis. And also, we talk to the C-suite of our clients, where we interview the CEOs, the CMOs, to understand from a business angle, from a management angle, what are some of the hypotheses that might be impacting the demand. And while we're doing all this, the fourth and the most important element of Ganit's retail expertise, where we've been dealing with retail industry for many, many, many years, comes handy as well. And we integrate these four elements into our hypothesis matrix, and we make sure that this hypothesis also have a data angle, wherein for each of these hypotheses we understand if the data is available, not available, should there be any assumptions that need to be made, and if some of these drivers are controllable drivers or non-controllable drivers for the businesses, right? And once you have this hypothesis matrix color coded, understood from both business and technical angle, now begins the model building and the machine learning part of a solution.
Ganit's forecasting solution implementation is pretty streamlined. The process is designed such that it takes full advantage of both the data fidelity and the business insights in order to create value for the customer. The whole process is broken down into three modules: the data preparation module, the forecasting module, and the QA module. The data preparation module typically covers the data gathering, data cleaning, and performing the univariate and bivariate analysis. Post this, we switch towards the exploratory data analysis, where we try to understand and test all the hypotheses and all the factors which are actually impacting the demand. From there, we move on to the feature selection, standardization of the variables, and designing the variables such that it can be implemented into the forecasting module. The next step in the forecasting implementation journey is to building the forecasting module. Before even building any forecasting module, we basically classify all the SKUs into a 3x3 matrix called the ABCXYZ framework, where the x-axis talks about the SKU's importance to the business. It may be the sales contribution or the rate of sales, etc. And the y-axis talks about the volatility of that SKU or our ability to forecast. While a traditional ML model can predict AB and XY bucket very easily, and it will give you good accuracy, but it fails to predict the Z's, which are the highly volatile SKUs, very well. This is where the AWS forecasts magic of using neural network comes into picture, where it learns the patterns, or it understands the sales patterns of AB XY bucket, understands the halo and the synergy effects, and then implements them onto the Z bucket, which basically augments the forecast accuracies further, and hence enables business to forecast for SKUs which are highly unpredictable. Once the forecasting solution is designed, the algorithm is fixed, we move on to the experimentation phase, where the real power of the Kaizen team comes into picture, where we experiment and build models with different variables, different regressors, at different levels of the hierarchy, etc. Build the best model which is suitable for the business predicting accuracy. Once these things is done, we also move towards estimating the demand or estimating the impact that model would eventually create, thereby completing the whole process. As mentioned, the process is designed for constantly assessing the results, measuring impact, and making business changes, such that we can always provide the feedback loop for continuous improvement. Using AWS Forecast, we are able to experiment on various iterations and various models with ease, but it is important for us to be able to implement the solution into the client's environment. AWS Forecast seamlessly integrates with any other platform like Oracle, SAP, etc., which enables us to drive an end-to-end solution, thereby integrating our solution directly and ensuring that the business consumes our solution as well. While we are implementing our solution, we ensure that the quality of our solution is top-notch. We follow all the industry best practices like modularizing our code, making our code reusable, following the best coding practices, following the well-architected AWS's mandated well-architected framework, so that all our solution integrates well with the client's environment and there are limited to no hiccups in the production system. In conclusion, I would like to summarize by highlighting all the key features of AWS Forecast, which we have leveraged to deliver value to our customers. I would like to start with the first one, where the ability to predict high volatility skews, especially in the Z bucket, through learning from the halo and the synergy effect of AB and XY segments. The second feature which I would like to talk about is the balance between under and over forecast, where we are able to automatically switch between higher and lower probability of forecasting using the quintile option of AWS Forecast in order to mitigate the short-term demand fluctuations in the skews. The other features which I would like to highlight is the ease of integration with the existing tools like Oracle, SAP, etc. Ease of scaling the application. We were able to scale from a 60,000 forecast to a 30 lakh forecast in a matter of 3 weeks. And of course, the newly launched features like holiday and weather help us ensure that we don't have to get those external sources data as well, because it is well integrated with the AWS environment. Thank you.
As you heard from Gaurav, we've had a great relationship and continue to have a great relationship with AWS team, where we are helping businesses of different industries and different scale and scope as well, because it's not just the Fortune 500 companies that need to take advantage. Even the up and coming, the new age industries, old age industries can also use AWS Forecast to have better demand planning solutions. I'm going to conclude this presentation by talking about some of the value that we have created, both Ganit and AWS, as true partners for our customers. At a retail location, for a retail client, we increased their forecasting accuracy from 27% to 76% at the most granular level, and the most granular level is store, SKU, day level for a very perishable category. And this actually reduced wastage by 20% and also made sure that the product was available for the customers when they came in. The second industry where we implemented this solution was for a CPG customer, and we increased their accuracy from 36% to 72%, almost doubling it at a weak SKU level for the distribution network. And because of this, we could lower the stockouts and also increase their sales because of a better and intelligent demand planning solution. The third example, where we partnered with a medical devices manufacturing company, we increased their SKU month level forecast accuracy from 58% to 83%. This also, actually led to a very optimized inventory level, because of which some of the cash that was trapped in not so productive, not so fast moving, inventory and items were released and it was deployed elsewhere. As you can see, this solution is very comprehensive. The partnership between Ganit and AWS can give businesses a lot of value. And by the way, the journey to start this is actually very simple. You just need to have your historical sales numbers, and we also think that you might have the product master, location master somewhere, and just give us that data and contact us, write to us, and we can start a quick POC for you. Thank you for listening. It's been a great pleasure talking about how intelligent demand forecasting solution can actually add value to your businesses. And we believe that Ganit and AWS are great partners in impacting positive change, positive business value to a lot of enterprises. Thank you so much.